You guys, I wrote down a few things this morning, which actually seem to dovetail. But the first one, I mean, this is juvenile, but it always cracks me up. And I came across this note. I at one point said, I think in a conversation with somebody, or maybe to myself, you know, I'm going down the rabbit's hole instead of the rabbit hole. And for some reason, that just completely cracked me up, the idea, you know, the rabbit's hole. But I had also written down on another piece of paper that I discovered this morning, dark, deep secrets. That's sort of the cliche, the deep, dark secrets. We stop hearing what that means. But the dark, deep secrets, and down the rabbit's hole. And then there's the one other thing that was interesting is I wrote down, somebody has my head screwed around. Past, present, fear of the future. And it was, I had an image of somebody, you know, with their head spinning, with their head was just spinning. And as a kind of metaphor for just that dazed feeling. But in fact, I have fairly severe vertigo, so when I got up to go do something this morning, I was literally spinning. But I somehow anticipated it earlier in the day. I don't know. But that idea, and I had written, somebody has my head spinning. You know, as if it's an external force, but for me it's really deep. It's deep in my own, and seemingly unshakable. It's been going on for years, and you know, it's just particularly hard to treat physiological thing to do with crystals in your ears. I mean, it sounds very sort of mystical. Okay, you come back here. So the rabbit's hole, dark, deep secrets. And that feeling of like almost a cartoon disorientation. Let me just do a little wee smudge here. So I hope you're feeling well. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about. There's a wonderful book called The Other Dimension, written by a guy named Louis Dupre, who I was lucky enough to have as a teacher in college. And he was this very precise, brilliant Belgian gentleman. Handsome. He looked sort of like a matador. And, you know, it wasn't my first exposure to the idea of mysticism, but it was, in an academic setting, it was really interesting. And one of the things he said in the last class was, you know, you got to start where you are, and that our culture doesn't lend itself to this way of perceiving the world, quieting down enough to hear the inner thing and be able to enter the other dimension. And although it's kind of in the cultural parlance now, it's still not, I don't think, sometimes I think it's lip service. And I don't know why I say that, but these are cynical times. These are hard times. He said the cultural times were hard back then, and they were, and that nobody knew. You know, if you said I'm a tarot card reader, it would be like, what's that? Now it's kind of in the cultural, but that doesn't mean the energy of the other dimension is really genuinely accepted by the culture, or even by the person purporting to do it. But there's a lot of insecurity. What am I talking about? I'm a channel. There's this really skeptical voice inside my head, and I would suggest it's likely inside your head too, not necessarily with cards or, the other dimensional stuff, but just something that really matters you, that you're trying to do to the best of your ability, and part of you is saying, you don't measure up, or are you kidding? It's the imposter syndrome. Fool. Oh, 2 came out. Fool. First card in the major arcana. That's a very strong beginning. And the card itself indicates strength and courage and the willingness to take the risk. Beginning, the first card in the major arcana, and the movement toward the whole self. It's self-discovery. And I do notice usually it's the fool going off the cliff. Here it looks a bit like the rabbit hole. He's going down the rabbit hole. The rabbit's hole. What's that about? Queen of Cups. Has to do with love, emotion, connection, soft-heartedness. A brave leap into that mystery in the, where does the rabbit, it's a little bit like, Alice in Wonderland goes down the rabbit hole. I don't know why I'd never thought of that before, but Alice does. She falls asleep. She goes into the other dimension. She goes down the rabbit hole into her own subconscious mind, and it's a whole landscape. It's Wonderland. Prince of Wands. We've been getting Prince of Wands a lot lately. That's the new direction. In this energy, fire energy, Aries. And, this is the unicorn here. It really is a kind of a wonderland. It's kind of sparkly and a little bit naive, maybe. Well, not naive, just new. It may look naive to other people, or look like you don't know what you're doing. One's energy. But you're doing this. It's like self-actualization. Full card speaks to the self. By going into the other dimension. There looks to be in this card, I thought it was a safety net. It's actually an alligator. So it is, that sort of emphasizes the risky nature of this. You're not going down a rabbit hole, you're going down the alligator's hole. I thought it was a net that would catch the fool. There's a raven on one side and a butterfly on the other. Well, this is, in the epic journey, which involves, lots of challenges, this is the very beginning of the journey. The Fool card. The path of the heart, which can be consuming, as alligator. you know, and the reptile is also like the reptilian brain, the primitive brain, the early brain that lived off impulse, that was, you know, about procreation and eating and fighting and all of that. It's kind of a raw energy, I guess is what I'm saying. Something to do with not so much frontal lobe, you know, analytical consideration. In the same fire energy, a card of Sagittarius, Temperance. Somebody was asking me in one of the comments, like, why is this a card of Sagittarius? And I checked it out. I don't know why. I just know how I read the card. I don't know how and when tarot cards were. I don't think it was from the get-go that the cards were associated with a particular zodiacal sign. But at some point they were, and this was assigned to Sagittarius. And there was a suggestion that it had to do with the fact that it was mutable fire. So it's always like seeking equilibrium, the blend of the energies. Mutable fire. Wow, under Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. And again, I'm seeing it as one person. Full card, you know, this out. And it's the blend of, you know, that card of Temperance, of the blend of, you know, being open-hearted and loving, and a little bit go your own way energy. I'm getting, well, it's Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way. But I got this image of Stevie Nicks, who's sort of the wild, witchy woman who has the amazing voice. A kind of artistic, wild character who people maybe don't quite believe that that's this person's real persona. They think it's kind of somehow this is the face, you know, I'm going to project this face. It's that business of the other dimension being considered, you know, airy-fairy. This looks a little bit airy-fairy with the unicorn and whatnot. And it's not. You're a powerhouse. Somebody's a powerhouse. This blend is like a very powerful synergy. In this case, the sum is greater than the parts. Is that the expression? Magician. Wow. That's another big card along with Temperance and Fool. We have 3 out of 6 are major arcana. So we're talking something that reverberates and has its source way beyond everyday life or the apparent thing that's going on the surface. This is a card of Gemini and Virgo. What we can manifest into our lives, you know, from that other dimension. We have all the tools we need to bring into our lives from the other dimension. You know, we can channel it in. And it's not like, you know, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz, Janis Joplin. Manifestation doesn't really work that way, and I think it. I'm hearing the wheels of God grind slow, but they grind exceeding fine. You know, it isn't a poof, there it is. And it's almost like I'm seeing this now as a down the rabbit hole and into the underworld. Peeling back everyday life to dive into the realm of self-discovery. There it is. Okay. Tell us about temperance. Because here we have above and below and the kind of result. And here we have the blend of the two cups, the alchemy. They're similar cards. But I think this has more of a tinge of the universe doing this. And this is a more active, I do it. It's the one card. It follows the Fool in that Fool's journey. Okay. Down the rabbit hole. Tell us about temperance, please. Bottom of the deck, strength. That's a part of the blend as well. You know, something about the above ground self and the beast within. Taming, isn't that an expression, to tame the beast within? And this snake that I think this person is holding reminds me of the snake that goes around the fire energy, around the wand, or, you know, this sign for healing is the wand with the snake wound around it. And it's a kind of like, if we want to let the other dimension into our lives where it can sort of shape us and work on us, we have to be strong enough to accept what the universe brings. And somehow the healing has to do with the synthesis and the taming of the beast. Or it's not really taming in the sense of, you know, I'll take my whip and my chair and beat you into shape. It's the ability to work with that Leo energy inside. And not once, but to have it change us at the core. See the infinity symbol. You know, it's this eternal exchange. And it looks like an hourglass. Divine timing. This, you know, temperance is a card of divine timing. It's almost like you're powered up at exactly the right time with this strength for self-discovery, for going down the rabbit's hole. You're working with all the energies now, you know, and blending them however you need to. It's almost like a recipe. You know, it calls for a little more of this and a little more of that. And, you know, there's a great book called Salt, Fat, Heat, or and I'm mucking it up, but it's just the idea that really tasty food has these ingredients and they need to blend. Okay, on the Magician, Princess of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. You know, and again, this reminds me of Louis Dupre, that you got to start somewhere. Start where you are. You know, you may feel like you only have a little bit to offer, a page amount, but this is the power that backs it up. And this is what, you know, you're bringing through something into 3D. I guess we always are, but there's something really substantial that that nourishes you. And it has to do with even your ability to just go outside, you know, into some environment that isn't what? Eight of Pentacles? Well, this can be day-to-day work. You know, like not the other dimension. It is a card of manifestation. You know, doing the work, making something in 3D, something creative, something that wasn't there before. Page of Wands, Princess of Pentacles. And it clarifies Fool, which is the new energy. I think it involves like bringing something into 3D that will take work to do, but the work will also involve something new in terms of your discovery of yourself. You know, this can imply over time. This is kind of leaping into a new timeline. Having the strength and the courage to do that and accept whatever blend the universe is gonna, oh boy, the universe is gonna offer you. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. Well, it could very well be your internal blend, the one card, of masculine and feminine energies. The ability to give, the ability to receive, although Queen of Cups is really a giving energy. But open-hearted, it's something about maybe this relationship, which is based on equal, you know, reciprocal feelings, is new. Fool card, Princess of Pentacles, Page, Prince of Wands. Wands are, you know, considered masculine energy, so that's the prince versus the princess. Pentacles are considered feminine energy. Kind of Gaia energy, earth energy. So, yeah, I don't quite understand. Tell us about the Queen of Wands. And it has something to do with like going against the tide of the cultural norm. King of Pentacles. Oh, man. What's that song? Joy for every girl and boy. Is that Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea? In any case, there are a lot of couples happening here. It's matching somebody on the heart level and in 3D. At first, it comes through as a small 3D, like the psychic energies are off the charts. You know, that other dimensional energy, what's working, not behind the scenes, but kind of underneath us, the way it's almost like a wormhole or the rabbit's hole. Queen of Cups. I feel like I'm in Wonderland here. Knight of Cups. Yeah, I think this King of Cups has found a way, Prince of Wands, you know, to feel it through. And what he wants to do is make an offer of some kind to his Queen of Cups. Love on the move. And I always say that, but I love that image of, you know, just advancing into kind of ever expanding. This is so corny, but a wonderland of feelings. Now there's another song about you're a wonderland. Jeez, okay. John Mayer, thank you. Tell us about Eight of Pentacles, Fool. Jeez, crow. That's a lot. Eight of Pentacles, Fool. Liberation from some way of thinking that was compartmentalized. You know, thinking just logically, you know, in these sort of quadrants. And then escaping that mindset. Eight and eight is 16. Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, 16 is Tower. The old paradigm comes down and the new beginning. With a purpose and a passion to do it. You know, released from the mental limitations, self-limitations. And there is a certain degree of like a release from the grind. Things that aren't other dimensional. And how do we bring that, see the hands? How do we bring that into our lives? So that somehow we pop through. We pop through. All right, Eight of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. Somebody had been investing for years in a project that's actually paid off. We have the horses again. They're there in this one. Is it horses? Yeah, it's all kinds of beasties. Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. You know, and this is kind of out of the head into real life. This guy is Gemini, Virgo, air, earth. Air, earth. There's something about like exploding a way of thinking, a paradigm that says, you know, what you think about and what's in your 3D life aren't really connected. Intimately connected. So it's kind of, in order to get control, in the best sense of the word, of the things you can manifest into your life, you're gonna have to, or somebody is, blow up the compartmentalization. There'll be a collapse somehow of the different areas of life. And it might be, too, a suggestion that the other dimension, whatever it is also very, it's not separate from life. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's not like we have life and then we have the other dimension. They really interface. Okay? Three of Pentacles, they interface. It's like the gears of a car or the strands of a braid. Something we can create in 3D. Pentacles speak to 3D, and here it is, the 3 card in Pentacles energy. We don't do it alone. We don't do it with a compartmentalized idea of who we are. You know, it's kind of like the proof is in the pudding. 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. You know, what we invest in, what we grow, and what we do with it. What do we do with it? Emperor. You know, a lot. We do a lot with it. We take control. In the same energy as Fool. Card of Divine Masculine. It might be it's taken a long time for somebody to free themselves from an old paradigm in order to work on this real life thing with somebody else. And they had to somehow, the period of time, perhaps 3 years, it's almost like this is, you harvest the raw material, 7 of Pentacles, and then you do something with it. Yeah, I've got to go faster because I'm going to lose my battery. I can feel it coming. Okay. So Emperor is on the scene in that same Aries energy as Fool. Taking control, you know, driving the bus. We have this nod to the Chariot here with the 2 horses. Driving the bus. Boss energy. Male or female. There it is again, the blend. 2 of Wands from this side, 2 Wands from that side. You know, meeting in the middle to create this kind of bower or archway. It's a portal. Build us a place where we both could live, Elton John. Up on the roof, I kicked off the moss. A couple of these verses have got me quite cross. I think that's the worst lyric ever, but hey, great song. Okay, and it's 4 of Wands, 4 in Major Arcana, Emperor. So Emperor is like, has built a bower. A place to bring, you know, perhaps his family. A safe place. A safe place, you know, and it's a kind of cooperative energy of building in 3D. But this is almost like a little bit more whimsical. I'd build us a house where we both could live. It's not an established thing, not yet. There's the Chariot again. Remember I referenced that here? I think, among other things, Emperor is feeling very empowered. He's like gotten his shit together. He's driving the bus. Remember I said driving the bus? It's an emotional bus. You know, and it's not like I'm in control of my emotions with a death grip. It's somehow holding the reins lightly. Giving it over to divine timing and to this, we're stronger together energy, temperance, strength. Chariot, 4 of Wands. Holy mackerel. Is this it? 9 of Wands. It's been a rough ride. Card of the Wounded Warrior. And again, the black and the white. I mean, that's just stunning to me. It somehow reconciles opposites. And I'm looking for the deep, dark secrets. And I really don't see deep, dark secrets except the rabbit hole image. And I'm seeing this now as almost like excavating the deep, dark secrets. The dark, deep secrets. It's almost now striking me as like rich, like fertile soil. The time, you know, divine timing, the beginning of the search toward wholeness. We have on the board Strength card, which is Leo, Temperance, which is Sag, Fool, which is Aries, Magician, which is Virgo, Gemini, Chariot, which is Cancer, Emperor, which is also Aries. Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords. Yeah, it's been a rough ride. Somebody's been scared they couldn't do this. It took them a long time and a big struggle and a sort of a fire walk to get this empowered, to believe in themselves, to have this kind of confidence in fire energy. One more. Hierophant. You know, I get the feeling, I mean, this can mean higher power, higher level of commitment. It can also mean marriage. But I don't, and it has that tinge of like the traditional thing. But here I think it's really not. It has that major arcana realm of the other dimension and of the rabbit hole and of Wonderland. And here we do have the maze. You know, this movement toward the center. The hub of the wheel. Axis bold as love. All right, you guys. I think I've said it all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just love you guys very much, and you're generous, and the energy you share is extraordinary. It's just it's an honor to have you at the table. And I'll see you next time. If I can find my click, yes. I'll see you next time.